Jesuit missionaries attempted to spread the Christian faith in Japan in the 1600s. They converted some people, but the government there didn't like the Christian faith. They thought it was undermining the social order, so they suppressed it. And they devised an effective psychological test to be able to tell if a person was a Christian or not. They made a little image called the fuemi, about this big, and on the fuemi, this image was either the face of Jesus, a crucifix, or sometimes it was the Virgin Mary. And if a person was suspected of being a Christian, they would be brought forth. The image of Jesus then would be placed on the ground before them, and then the person had to step on the face of Jesus or the crucifix. Now, if they did this, then they were not Christian. But if they hesitated or did not do this, they were killed. Now, there were Japanese Christians at that time who were just horrified by this, and they didn't do it, and they were killed. They became martyrs for the faith. But what would you do? What would you do if someone took an image of Jesus, the face of Jesus, or a crucifix, put it on the ground in front of you, and if you step on it, step on Jesus' face, then everything is okay. You can go on with your life. However, if you hesitate or refuse to do it, you would be killed. What would you do? Jesus in today's gospel lets us know how we are to respond when we face such circumstances, such persecution because of him. Jesus says 3 times in the gospel today, do not be afraid. And that is Jesus' solution for us. Do not be afraid. Trust in God. Know that God is with you always, all the time, that he is indeed a mighty champion. And to make his point, he uses the example of a small animal, something we're familiar with here in Novato. He uses the example of a sparrow. So if God knows every movement of this little insignificant animal, this bird, if God knows when this bird flies, when it lands, how it moves, how it eats, then will he not much more care for us who are actually made in his image? God is with us. But let's go back now to Japan in the 1600s. You follow Jesus, you love Jesus. Jesus has changed your life. But now the authorities, though, have found out about it, and they take the fuemi, the image of Jesus, the face of Jesus or Jesus on the crucifix, and they put it in front of you, and they say you have to step on it. Would you step on the face of Jesus? In 2016, this very interesting film came out called Silence, and it's based on a Japanese novel by a novelist named Shusaku Endo. And in the movie and the novel, the main character is a Father Rodriguez. He is a young Jesuit priest, and he volunteers to go to Japan to spread the faith. And he knows how dangerous it is, but he wants to do it. And when he lands in Japan, there's several hundreds of Christians there, and they're ecstatic to see him because now they can celebrate the Eucharist. And they do. In secret, they celebrate the Eucharist. But in time, though, the authorities find out about Father Rodriguez, and they capture him. And he is given the test. They bring out the fuemi. In this case, it's an image of the face of Jesus, and they put it in front of Father Rodriguez, who now has to face this dilemma. Does he step on the face of Jesus? And if he does this, then he will live. However, if he doesn't do it, not only will he die, but dozens of fellow Christians will die that they have captured as well. So at this point, Father Rodriguez has to decide what to do. Will he follow what Jesus says in the gospel today? Will he not be afraid? Will he have this complete trust in God? So what then does Father Rodriguez do? We're going to see it now in this clip from Silence, in which Father Rodriguez now is in front of this Fuemi, and he has to decide what to do. So I've shown this clip, obviously, at other masses, and people have told me it's a little unclear what happens at the end. So Father Rodriguez does make the decision, obviously very anguished, to actually step on the face of Jesus, and that's why he's rolling around at the end, just in great pain over his decision. Now, of course, this is a very extreme situation. But what would you do? When I first saw this movie in 2016, I thought long and hard, what would I do? What would I do if someone presented an image of Jesus in front of me, his face, a crucifix, or the Virgin Mary, and said I had to step on it? What would I do? And I decided that based on everything that Jesus has done for me, I just couldn't do it. I couldn't step on an image of Jesus. But that's me, however. But what would you do? Think about it. What would you do under these circumstances when you had to make a decision like that you actually had to step on the face of Jesus or a crucifix? What would you do? In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.